Well, I mean, we can hum.
Okay.
I mean, do.
Yeah.
Oh, we're live.
Oh,
All right, welcome everybody to another arcade hangout, number 134. Is that right?
34.
34.
100 plus 30.
We're the longest running arcade. There we go. Music. We're the longest running arcade podcast on the internet. It's coming at you from Elon Musk's travel around the stars and back again.
There we go.
We're a bunch of hard to talk over that. We're a bunch of arcade collectors and or meme players that like to sit around and talk about arcade games, movies, incredible thing toys, and other such nonsense. On Firescapes. And let's see, what else do we do? I guess that's all. We also go to CAX, some of us, which we'll be talking about tonight. And let's see. And we don't have a question. I think we're just going to talk about CAX.
Yeah, it's a CAX recap.
CAX recap. And
Still
it's my first time.
right?
Yeah.
Did anybody post this on Clav just real quick?
No.
Okay.
You got it, Carrie?
No.
No. All right. Let me do it.
Thank you.
Talking.
I'm pulling the dinner card.
And I can. I don't know if you guys read my review on Clav about my second time at CAX.
No.
Yeah, I wrote a little review, a little blurb about the things I liked, and some other little things. But
Cool. So you're just gonna read that review, and then we're done with the show, right?
and we're done. Da-da-da-da.
It's gonna be a short show tonight.
We talk about the things that happened, the things I can't remember anymore, things that one of us in our group won a prize.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
In the raffle. Yeah. So who wants to start talking? Gak, do you want to talk about CAX for a little bit? And we'll all talk about our little things.
I'm posting the link in our the KLB thread.
Okay.
Let's see here.
When Jim comes on, he can talk a little about his Street Fighter tournament, which is a lot of fun. I was there to watch and cheer Jim, and I had two other friends that were in the tournament, Hector and Webster Ware. He was in there too, and that was just a lot of fun to root them on and see them fight to the death in Street Fighter. And it was pretty good turnout for that Street Fighter tournament. There's a lot of people.
I saw a big line of people there when I went to by it.
Yeah. And when it got down near the nitty gritty, it was really hard to see see the screens. Yeah. Because you got a flow of traffic going through there, plus everyone's standing on their tiptoes and But all I could see were the life gauge bars and watching them go down,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching Jim's life gauge bar, and it's like, I think he's doing good.
So there's a question out here from Necros. Mock, no crazy hookers is last weekend?
No crazy hookers. I posted a little blurb about that too, and they're like, I'm looking everywhere in the thread for the hooker story, and I can't find it. I could briefly talk about that, see what happened. That was just a hooker ran into our room while I was downstairs partying with the arcade hangout crew, and my guy was
2 years ago.
Yeah, this was 2 years ago, 2016 CAX.
And she was naked, right? Like totally naked.
No. She had a little panties and a bra on.
Really? She was.
I'm trying to make the story better for you.
Yeah, I know. Well,
no one's gonna remember that shit.
I think she had a real tight skirt that's like cut off at the hoochie mama, And that she ran in as they were entering their room, actually entering my room. I was downstairs, like I said, and she closed the door quickly behind her, and then right behind her was the guy chasing her, and he's pounding on the door. Look at that bitch! You owe me money, bitch! You owe me money! You gotta open the door, you fucking bitch!
Oh gosh!
And so instantly they called security, and they're trying to calm her down and stuff. And the guy's pacing, slamming his fists on the door, and eventually he left. And she offered to give my buddies a free one for that.
Wow.
And they're like, no, thank you. That's all right. So then that's when Keith ran downstairs, and I was drinking with Gak and Carrie and everybody and Andrew. And then Keith just came right to our table and goes, dude, we got to go to our room right now and move our stuff because that guy might come back with a gun.
So you guys actually moved rooms.
So we had to move rooms, yeah,
Right,
just because that guy was coming back, maybe.
Yeah.
And
But the place was sold out, so some poor bastard got that room.
Yeah.
so yeah, somebody might get a shot in the face. I don't know.
Yeah, I got a little sidebar on moving rooms myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did. We got the room.
So you know, from I'll say the exhibitor's perspective, like a person that brings a bunch of games. You know, I know Carrie, it's probably a lot more difficult for you to get out of work, but man, I gotta say it's so nice bringing games on Thursday. One extra day early because Friday is just usually a madhouse. So many trucks in line waiting to bring games in and stuff. So yeah, I got in Thursday, and all our games were all unloaded. It was probably maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Get settled in our room, and the first thing we noticed was normally I request to not have an adjoining room because I don't want the doorway and hearing the neighbors and all that. But
Which is super smart. Yeah,
right, and you know, I forgot to do that this year, and so maybe an hour or so after we're in the room, just kind of chilling out, me and my kids, and hear somebody come in next door, and then my younger son Luke was like, "Dad, I think I smell marijuana."
Marijuana?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure he was.
How do you know what that smells like?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's right. You said it more succinctly.
So I'm like, I don't know.
It smells like cocaine.
Right.
Yeah. And they were already getting a little bit
Love the smell of
rowdy,
cocaine.
you know, and I'm like, I don't want to be smelling this all night or anything, you know, with my kids and all that. So
they were like smoking it like constantly in there, right?
yeah, so we go out, I'm like, I'm gonna go down and ask to change rooms. And so I go down to the where you check in, and no problem. They got me another room, so we swapped rooms. And then fast forward 2 or 3 hours later, Mock and Keith showed up, and I'm like, hey, I got those beers I'm gonna bring up to you. And what room are you in? And he tells me the room. I'm like, holy shit. That's the room the stoners were in.
We walk in there and it hits us in the face like this really skunk weed they're smoking in there too.
Yeah,
it's like the stinkiest weed. I was like, oh man,
like a day later.
Oh, those guys are back.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was pretty stinky weed, but it was weird.
Dude.
Once you're in there for a little bit, then then you don't notice it. But it's when you first walk in the room, it hits you in the face. You know, like
Yeah.
So.
Hey, bud, let's party.
Let's
So
party.
my only thing that I wish they could do a little bit earlier is and I think it has to do with because the fire marshal comes out and does an inspection, but I think it's before they can actually turn on power to the machines. Like they walk the whole floor and make sure it has enough spacing between the games. Like it's a 10-foot. They're supposed to have a 10-foot wide aisles. Somebody I can't remember who told me that. They actually it was Keith, I think. You actually have a PCV pipe that's 10-foot, cut to 10-foot length, and they walk down all the aisles and walk straight. And as long as it doesn't hit anything, they say it's okay. That's for safety or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So if you have scrapes along the front of your cabinet,
Right,
you know,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
the
From
aisleway
Fire
wasn't
Marshal
10
Bill,
feet.
right?
Yeah,
Then
exactly.
you're in the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
I forgot to finish my hooker story real quick.
Okay,
There's a punchline. There's a punchline to this. I had a little bit of whiskey, so my story might be off.
All right.
Real quick, the ending to the hooker story. The punchline to that was the girl was thanking Ethan that was in the room, and then she's all
Thinking.
thanking. Yeah, like
spanking or thanking.
He goes. They go. Why is he so pissed? Why is he chasing you down the stairwell? You know. Why is he so angry with you? And then she's like, because he wanted to put it in my butt. And I don't do that.
Well, at least she had standards, you know.
Yeah, I have standards.
Ay, no me gusta.
The union doesn't let us do that.
It's about to go into the shop for repairs, so she doesn't want to.
Later, the hotel reviewed like the tapes and stuff, and when they found out she was a hooker, she's like a regular there, I guess.
Oh,
and when they found that out, they kicked her out, and she was forbidden to ever.
Oh, Skittles, how's it going? Good to see you.
Well, because it's what 2 blocks from the 49ers stadium, so there's like all kinds of
Skittles
stuff that happens there,
And I was thinking like the
Yeah.
family going to Great America.
right? Yeah.
Dad's gonna kick it in the hotel room, kids.
Yeah, you guys go out and have a good time.
Enjoy the ride.
I'm going on my
Yeah,
own
please.
ride.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play some adult games.
Yeah, for in that fellow's case, the log ride.
All right. Push in the log ride.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, that's the end of that. Okay, sorry, I got to cut you off. I had to finish
No
that story.
problem.
Okay, go ahead.
So
Yeah.
you don't turn on power until after the fire marshal goes through and checks everything. I believe that's the way they have to do it. So it's usually Friday afternoon, like maybe 4 p.m. or so, before we even have power. And that's, everything happens while traveling with games, it seems like. You leave your house with working games, you arrive there, and maybe 2 or 3 don't work for whatever reason. And you don't really know until you power it up, right? So, I had a couple of minor issues I had to repair, and I'm sure other people had it too. But so it seems to be a little bit of chaos Friday night because of that. Like
I didn't have any problems with my games.
Yep, it all worked perfect.
Yeah,
right?
me neither.
So, but it's all good. It was still, it didn't take that long for me to get my stuff addressed, and then probably by 8 p.m. and about 6 or 7 actually. I think that's when we called Carrie. Carrie was on her way to get Jim at the airport.
I heard about this phone call.
Yes, we all had I think you guys maybe had a couple more before I showed up. Mock, you and
Yeah, we were drinking scotch in the room. I don't usually drink scotch, and I've never really had scotch, but for some reason it was good, and I drank a lot of it.
So I mean,
we
so
brought it
Friday
downstairs in cups and drinking.
For people who haven't been there, Friday night is not. There's no playing games. It's pretty much strictly just for the people who bring games to get them set up and dialed in and where they're supposed to be on the floor. So once you've done that, it's kind of just a hang out and party with your friends deal.
It's the Thursday night of Grinkers, basically.
Yes, there you go.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So we were, from pretty much 7 p.m. on, we were having a good time, right?
Oh my God, we
Then we
partied
wound
in our
up-
room all night.
Yeah, whose room was that yours?
That's
Mark?
my room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bring my breathalyzer and I'm like, all right, you're supposed to wait before GAC's like, all right, I'm gonna blow into your breathalyzer. All right, here we go. And I blew like a 0.4. I'm like, yeah, you're dead.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Clearly, I've never had to do that before, so.
Yeah.
So GAC brought a cooler full of beers. So we had beers, we had scotch, we had the pancake shots.
Yeah, I brought the-
Carrie brought a full bar.
Yeah, I brought a full bar, although I did for
You left with nothing though, pretty much, right? All gone.
That first night, I got so hammered though. Oh my
You were
God!
Yeah.
hammered when we got there.
I know I was already buzzed, but
Yeah, we went
So
through a
hilarious.
lot. We went through a lot of Jameson with the pancake shots.
Kevin was hammered big time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Someone that GAC knows got pretty darn hammered
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Someone I know, pretty close.
yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. I had a really good time that first night. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
We didn't even spend it down at the bar where a lot of people were. We were
Yeah,
back.
You're instead tormenting your neighbors.
Yeah.
We're
Poor
like, God damn it.
neighbors.
Yeah. First we're next to to pot smokers, and then the pot smokers turned into this incredibly loud crew.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if they didn't put anybody in there that first night, maybe, and maybe later they put somebody in, because I didn't hear anybody over there. I don't know if
that
he
would have been
did.
good.
But yeah, because I didn't hear it until later on the next day. Then I think they let people in there, but I think they let it rest for a day, maybe. I don't know. I didn't hear anybody over there though. But we were loud. We were loud.
super loud.
Yeah.
We were so loud. I didn't appreciate just how bad it is with the adjoining door until
Yeah.
the next morning when our neighbors were we're talking in a normal tone of voice, and it was like, what the
Shut
hell?
up!
Yeah, pretty much.
Right,
So I'm
yeah.
gonna do
Get
what
the
you
hell
do.
out of my room.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just request, or unless, like Mock and I talked about, was if we arrange it ahead of time and
Oh,
get the
yeah.
adjoining rooms.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah,
That's even better
On
idea.
the same schedule,
Yes.
That
Yeah,
could
Then
I
I
be-
know
can
that.
complain about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get each other kicked out.
Jack's
Yeah,
drinking
right.
too
That's a
loudly.
really good idea because you're right. We'll
Right.
Yeah.
I'll call downstairs. Gak isn't sharing his beers with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, front desk. Somebody farted.
Yeah.
Yes,
Shit, I'm dry heaving.
So Carrie, your games
God, the
pretty much
toilet
all
so close to
survived
the
the trip.
bathtub.
They set up okay.
Yes. Yeah. My main thing is I forgot that I had there's a couple games that I don't keep on free play. Actually, just I
Oh,
guess it was
yeah.
just one, and I forgot about that. So I felt badly on Saturday morning. It was probably maybe like an hour into the show, so it wasn't
Yeah, it
like
wasn't-
super
yeah.
deep into it. But
Okay.
walking around and saw somebody walking up to a reactor, and then kind of poking some buttons and walking away with a
Yeah.
Joe
I'm like, oh,
Pesci,
shit.
Russia's freaking fresh.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
forgot that I don't keep that one on. I usually, so most of my games are on flea
Flea play.
Flea
Yeah,
plays.
Yeah.
but
They-
there's a
itchy.
couple that there's exactly. But Reactor, I don't have that way because there's really cool music for it that will do on kind of like more, not exactly the attract mode, but if you hit the buttons, like you can just walk by the machine if it's on and hit the buttons and it'll do its
Oh yeah, right.
and I love that music, and you don't get that if you have
When
it.
it's-
Yeah. If it's not on
Well,
quarters,
usually
so.
the hack I do, which is real easy, you just wire the coin switch into player 2 start. So then it's not free play, and you coin up by just pressing player 2. And then
Oh.
people don't accidentally start a 2-player game and they're not playing. No one's
That's
really
how
playing.
that's how I used to have my Miss Pack.
Yeah.
Used to be. And then Am's coin up came out.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
But
you.
it
That's what I
wouldn't-
have on.
But it wouldn't work with your reactor because you want to hear the music because it'd start a game instantly.
Well, there's always people playing Karate Champ. I couldn't even get on it.
That's
So
awesome.
people do like that game. They're
yeah.
attracted to it because it's a 2-player fighter that's early, and they just go, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, that's actually the one that I still need to like do a little CAX repair on because on Sunday, or no, I guess it was towards the end of the day, Saturday, one of the coin mechs, when the coin reject buttons is like all shoved and jammed in there, and I forgot what the player
connectors.
Yeah,
for
the player two
start.
player 2 start button. The connectors came off. Both connectors came off of the button.
Weird.
Most bizarre
You
thing.
need to take a pliers and clamp them together a little tighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't real snug even when I put them on
Right.
back.
Yeah.
But that'll be an easy fix.
Yeah, but everything seemed to have survived the drive. Well, big thanks to Gino. So I ended up actually, yes, you were talking about having trouble getting time off. I had months and months ago said, okay, these are the days I'm taking off. I'm taking off Friday and Monday, and then there was a screw up at work, and somebody scheduled a major training on Friday. So it was all of a sudden like, oh shit, I'm not going to, like, I couldn't even ask at that. Like, I couldn't be like, oh, hey, I've already taken this day off. So, even though my group is putting on this major training, I need to take it off. Like, I couldn't even ask. I couldn't even think of an argument for me to be able to do that. So I went through a little panic of, oh shit, am I not gonna be able to bring games? And what? And then Gino and I brainstormed because I always bring our games together. And basically what we ended up doing was going before work on Thursday to pick up the truck. And then we both, of course, had to work on Thursday. And then after work on Thursday, Gino came to my place and we loaded up all of my games. And I brought a total of, I brought 10, it ended up being 10. Because we couldn't
do
get
it.
Yeah.
I don't even have to. Yeah.
I know you might as well just get rid of that soundbite. We don't even.
Yeah.
Because actually we couldn't muscle the Atari Tempest cocktail out because we just needed another person. It says we could get it out, but but I have a step, and I just didn't. There's just no way to get it down that step without some additional help.
Right.
So I thought I was going to bring 11. I ended up bringing 10, and but yeah. So Gino did have Friday off, so we got everything loaded on Thursday night. And then I went to work on Friday, and while Gino drove the truck, and he said he didn't have any trouble. I think he popped right up to the loading
I
dock.
was, kind of like waiting for a message or something, and then I look over and I saw some of your games because I could tell because you had the orange wrap on them or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I guess they're here already. And then when I went and saw Gino, he's like, oh, it was no problem. He unloaded really fast. No biggie at all. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, because
So,
he had your number. He was all ready to text.
yeah,
But
I think it's the leaving is the hardest part. Getting there isn't as bad. There's lots of volunteers and stuff, but when it's time to go, everybody's gone. Right?
yeah, and this year though was super smooth. I mean,
It went pretty well,
you were there. Luke helped. Seth popped in a little bit.
Yeah, only a little bit, but
although honestly, we had more helpers than we needed. I mean, Gina was able to get up to the loading dock right away.
Yeah.
TJ was there, and who's one of the founders of CAX, and he was,
I almost ran off with an extra Robotron.
That's right.
That's right.
There were 3 of them, and I grabbed the wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here you go.
Gino was like strapping games into the truck while we were kind of going back and forth, a few of us taking games out there. And he just said, I swear he said the same thing you heard too. He's like, it's the one with the gray side.
That's what, yeah. No, he said that. Because when I told him, like, he goes, when he said that, when I told him that you guys had.
So there were 3 Robotrons. 2 had the stenciled art, and then 1 was just black on the sides. And 1 didn't have any information on the sticker. 1 said Tim something, and the other said G Montero. It was just like an abbreviation. And me and Gak both heard Gino say, "Oh, it's gray on the sides," and even though all Robotrons should be, but I'm like, "Oh, that's what he meant," because 1's black, 1 says Tim. Oh, so it must be this 3rd one that's unmarked. So I start wheeling that out there, and I get about halfway, and then Gak's like, "Oh, wait, no, that's not his." I'm like, "Oh, okay." It'd be nice if he'd put his full name on it.
I remember the sticker from the other game because it was Stargate that I got for him that I brought out there, and it had the same. It was the G dot last name, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that's not his. Damn it!" Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, so when you bring games, they did a new thing this year where they catalog them in. So all the games are assigned. You're supposed to have a sticker on them, and that sticker has a pre-printed number, and it corresponds with a list that they have with your name and contact information. So that if someone reports, "Hey, the joystick's sticking on gyrus," and they should take a picture or jot down the game number, and they can look it up and contact the owner and say, "Hey, your joystick on gyrus is sticking, go fix it," and bark orders to us, and we go running. And so they were all supposed to have had these stickers, and you know what, hats off to them for getting stickers that have really light tacky on them as opposed to stickers that are hard to get off, because it was like maybe slightly stickier than a Post-it note, but just barely. Like those things.
They're like window decals, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't leave any residue behind. Yeah, I'll have them. I leave them on machines for years, even, and then eventually, like, I guess I'm like Dave. He got Hypersports from me.
We saw we saw some cabinet that had like just a row of stickers from all the different years of CAX.
That's Mark Bershing, that one of the head guys that. And that's Wizard of War, I think, was the game.
Yes,
he has like
right.
almost every year. It's like 12 or 14 years that he's been bringing it. Has them all in there. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, you can't even tell what the hell the game is, hardly. You have to
right? Yeah, you can't see the marquee.
Yeah, because it's all stickers. So that's where it's like, in theory, and I actually had said, I hope that this means that there's greater security, like maybe somebody's checking games out at the end, but not so much. Apparently you can just grab any old Robotron that's hanging around and start to
not that part, but the part that did, and it actually happened in my case, was if somebody sees a problem with the game, they can report it up at the front where you check in, and they can look down the list and find the number that the machine's associated to, and then have your email or text to send you a message saying, there's a report on this. What's that?
I thought that's what I just said. Was I on mute?
Oh, did you? Oh, sorry. My son came in.
Okay.
Yeah. Totally missed it. It happened to me like twice, actually, on the same machine. Like the trackball wasn't working right. And I'm like, it's working fine. Like I tested it. And I even talked to other people. It was the mini golf in the Valley Sente tab. And I'm like, it has a brand new trackball in it. It works fine. And then the guy eventually shows up over there, and he's like, here, let me show you. And then it's like if you spin down, the golf ball goes up, like the opposite direction.
Oh.
But what's weird is, well, not until you get later in the game do you actually need to spin up, because everything's like to the left or up or to the right. There's not really, like, spinning up worked fine, but spinning down goes up also. So I don't know, something was weird on the wiring on the harness that came with the new trackball. So I don't know, I couldn't fix it there. I needed someone, you know, to remove pins on wires and stuff like that. You know, so, like, nah, sorry. But yeah. So anyways, sorry. You have anything to wrap up on your part? Talk about stuff.
Oh. Yeah.
Carrie,
No.
did you say what games you brought besides Karate Champ and Reactor? Did you say already?
No.
What other ones did you bring?
Yeah.
Besides
So,
Karate Champ and Reactor.
yeah. So, Gyrus, my CAX Cabaret, my Missile Command Cabaret that I sold there.
Nice.
Yeah, Defender, and actually, mine was the only Defender this year. We didn't have as many duplicates this year as I think we've had in years past.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of duplicates.
Yeah, so no one had to like be like deal with some sort of vile green button. They could all be beautiful white buttons. I'm trying to think what the hell else I brought. Gravatar. I always deconvert it from I usually have it as a Black Widow, but I deconvert it into the Gravatar. Black Widow can be my Black Widow's a little squirrely, but Gravatar's solid like a rock.
Because it's new.
Yeah. Shadow Dancer, which was the first time that Shadow Dancer has been, and it was also a big hit. In fact, I stood next to somebody. Yeah, who finished it? It was nice because they had Karate Champ, Shadow Dancer, some other game, and then Gyrus. So I had 3 of mine all in a row, which is nice because it makes it easier to check on them if they're not spread all around. So, that was fun. I was standing next to somebody when he finished the game. And I watched a little bit of the finish, but I'm like, okay, I really shouldn't watch the whole thing because at some point I'll finish the game and I'll want to see it, you know, when I've earned it as opposed to when someone else has done it. But on the other hand, I know he went through a bazillion credits. He did not do this on one quarter.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, he was figuring out how to kill the final boss. And I don't know how many times. He said that he was there for like an hour and a half or so.
I feel sorry for the people behind him that wanted to play it.
Yeah, all the people who were walking by. And he was enjoying it so much. It was super fun. And in fact, what he said is that he goes to these things each year and that usually there's one game that he walks away and is like, wow, this was really awesome. And that was the game. And it was so cool to be like, oh my God, cool. I brought that you know, the one that was
that
the
game that touched him.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it was really funny because I told him like, oh, you know, I brought this and we chatted and it was all, you know, and Jim walks up and we're all talking, hello, Billy. We're all talking Shadow Dancer, and then the guy's like, oh, hey, would you take my picture in front of it? So like he wanted to have his picture in front, pose a couple of times, but just for a minute, I thought like he wanted to have a picture of him and me, the one who brought the game in front of the game. And it was like, oh no, he didn't give a shit. So I just took his phone and like zero shits for like, hey, and this is the person who brought the game, which was fine. But but I just thought that was kind of funny. But I just loved that, you know, because we're always like, oh, what game did you discover? And this was the game that he discovered, and he was attracted to it because it was, the Shinobi
franchise, sequel to Shinobi. Which
it
wasn't, Shadow Dancer wasn't a game that was everywhere either. Like Shinobi was everywhere when I was young. It was everywhere. And Shinobi was just very select places I would see it. Yeah, it wasn't like Shinobi at all. So he probably was like, oh, what's this? A sequel to Shinobi, you know? So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I had a couple of people who said that they were pretty stoked that it was there. So So who knew? I was surprised by that. So
I know I looked everywhere for a Black Tiger and I didn't see one there. Yeah, you know, that was like my game. And it's
Black Tiger, there was one.
There was one
right in the main entrance to the left. So you know where they had the giant Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the new game.
Yeah,
just like a couple machines behind that to the right.
I thought that was Magic Sword.
Okay, maybe you're right. What was the one you were saying?
Black
Black
Tiger.
Tiger. Okay.
Yeah,
I was
Magic
confused
Sword
those
was
two.
right there.
You're right. You're right. It was Magic Sword.
Yeah, it looks similar, kind of. It shoots out
Yes.
knives. And
I
stuff.
always confuse those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what was a super popular game at CAX? Fire Escape.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Let's
was
talk about Fire Escape for a little bit.
that was insane. There was always a crowd, except
Wait,
for
I have a
Is that
picture.
yours? Did you bring
No.
yours?
No.
Oh,
No.
somebody
So,
else did.
Dave, this is one that I believe Kalen got from you, and then he sold it.
Yeah, probably.
This guy is somewhat local to CAX. Bought it from Kalen, and then he brought it this year. I was gonna bring one, but then it turned out he was bringing his, so I didn't bring mine. So
Oh, you're talking Fire Escape.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
the fact that-
unfortunately, like the first day, like halfway through Saturday, I think it broke.
Oh,
I don't understand how they're breaking.
Well, it was I think there was a spring or something. That was the way I opened the back. I tried to look. It's like
oh.
hidden inside there where the row of balls are at.
I don't know if Andrew can do this, but I just posted on Slack a picture of. I just was walking by it, and I saw 5 people watching the game.
Yeah.
And I posted. I just posted a picture on Slack right now. I don't know if you guys can put it on here. But I was just like, look at all the people checking this game out. I thought that was so cool.
It was, yeah. There was always
Those
a crowd
machines
around.
always like
Always a
and
crowd watching it. Yeah.
It's like ice cold beer or Zeke's Peak when they have those there. Those are really popular too. But they didn't have either one of those there this year.
No, I didn't see them.
There's a spring at the top and the bottom when the ball's getting loaded and then coming out. And one did break on Scott Bardelli's, but I have extra. And he was the first one. Like it's like this little block that's got a spring in it. So it actually goes on the bottom. Nice one. And then I sent it to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I had to cut it out. It's the same thing." And then he put it in, and he's like, "It wasn't working." But then I looked at the manual and it said if it wasn't bend this spring, he goes, "I wouldn't even thought of that." But it said it in the manual, and it's just working again. Well, I go, "You're the test one. So if this happens to anyone, I'm gonna say call Scott because he did it, and I have extra of those."
Right.
So he was on me for a while, and I got lazy. He's like, "Dude, he's got a ton of games." He goes, "That's the only game my kids want to play." He goes, "They don't even touch the other ones."
Yeah.
They just needed to spray some lube in there, and maybe the spring just got stuck somehow.
Most of it, unless it broke like his. But like when John was at Southern Fried Game Expo, he walks up to the one there, and it's down.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's just like a pinball machine too. You got to maintenance those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
and most of the stuff, unless the spring breaks, it's a little adjustment. Like I've gotten, but I mean, not the play that these things are getting nonstop. So, stuff's gonna break, but it's repairable because it's mechanical.
So, okay, I got a few things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So the games. First off, let me mention the Con Club again. I brought a shirt back with me. Those guys are really cool, Jacob and Mike Center. They're kind of the two that I'll say kind of hosted the tournament. I just helped set the games up and kind of gather it together with CAX. So that was a lot of fun. There was actually a lot of people playing all the Donkey Kong games. But there's no way to tell like who was actually competing or not from my perspective, because a lot of them were taking pictures of their scores. And I don't know if that was, we got some kind of repeating screen here. Okay.
Just real quick to show all the people watch. I just walked by and I saw like a bunch of people watching it.
There was a line of people too. Me and Carrie saw was it Sunday or Saturday? Yeah. It was always like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just got a kick every time. It was always a different group of people every time I walked by.
I didn't give the person too.
I didn't see it go down until Sunday. So
I think it was Saturday night it went down.
Did it?
Saturday,
bummer. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
So yeah, the Con Club stuff. So that was a lot of fun. There, like I said, there was a lot of people playing it. I couldn't tell who necessarily was actually posting scores in the Con Club, but one thing that Jacob did note later was that, and if we do it again in the future, it's something he's going to have to address because this is kind of a plus and a minus for the Facebook thing. Is that I think it's due to privacy issues on Facebook. If you're not on his friends list or if you're not a member of Con Club, he can't see your scores posted on Facebook. so people there, I think there was probably at least a couple people that were not members or not on his friends list that were posting with the hashtag to enter the score that he didn't see. Because there was one guy in particular, they had already left, and I was starting to set games back to, because we had a special setup, and he came up to me and I don't think they caught his score, so they later were able to find it, and he wound up being the winner. I think his name is Aaron David or something like that. Let me see. Anyways, so yeah, that was fun. And then I brought one machine on purpose because Kumo Craig really wanted to set it up. Is it my mispack machine? So it's called Porky. I don't know if you guys have ever played that game before. It's kind of a silly game, but super rare. Huh?
I have now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, David Aaron was the guy's name, who actually won the Kong Club Challenge. So yeah, but back to the Porky. So his circuit board set he had, he said was specifically designed to work in a pack or mispack pin out in the game. It's actually a modified pack board, and so we set it all up, but the controls were all wrong, and so he was sure, like, and it was, they changed the wiring on the control panel somehow for that game. Because it was, not that popular, and I think they didn't go into big production, so they just kind of like would have to modify every game they put it into. So we had to swap a few wires around, but it was pretty fun, really challenging game. But I saw a lot of people checking that out and talking about it. I think one guy did in your the thread you posted today, Mock. He mentioned they like playing Porky and Wall Street, which is the other game that he brought. I didn't even know Coolmore Craig was going to do that. I brought one of my CVS, the cabinets. It's a CVS machine with Hunchback in it, and so the CVS system, it's sort of a cartridge-based system that has a couple ribbon cables to connect it to a motherboard. And so he brought his Wall Street, and he's like, "Let's try it out. I don't know if it's going to work or not." And sure enough, it worked. So we're just like, "Let's just leave it all weekend." So Wall Street's a kind of a twisted game. Yeah, if you guys ever get a chance to check it out. It's basically the opening.
The movie's great.
Yeah, like the first.
I watched it on my flight over there.
Yeah, well, the first scene in the game, there's basically, the Dow Jones Index in the background where all these high-rise buildings, and there's guys trying to commit suicide, jumping off the building.
Oh God, really?
And so what you're doing is you're rescuing the guys that are jumping off the building. Because let's say the crash of the stock market's happening, and they're all trying to commit suicide. So you have like a trapeze thing, like bounce on them or whatever. So you're running these guys back and forth to bounce them over to the ambulance, and you have to catch so many of them before you can clear the level out. And then the next scene is something weird too. It's like something with guns and tanks and stuff. I don't know. It just it's a bizarre game, but yeah. So those two were there, but we were kind of heckling each other because I picked up that other game in the Cinematronics machine cabinet, the Alley Master, that weird bowling game that was in a Dragon Slayer game, and Kumo Craig, he was messaging me like a week before CAX, and he's like, hey, so you can have room, for Porky, and I'm like, well, it's gonna be tight, I got this new game I picked up too, and he's like, you're gonna bump Porky for Alley Master, He's like, I'm sure everybody's gonna be standing in line to play some shit ass bowling game, And so it was funny because like the first day, I'm like, I walked by and no one's playing Porky, and there was a guy playing for like a half hour on Alley Masters, like took a picture, I'm like, check it out,
You're right.
Yeah, so that was pretty funny.
Can you talk about what Keith gave you? Speaking of that bowling game,
and so related to that machine
for beer payment,
right? So thank you. I'll explain, but yes, thank you in advance, Keith. I plan to still keep the kit Alley Master, but the actual machine, I kind of want to turn it into either Dragon Slayer or Space Ace, and have the sort of basically what Andrew has, the 3 or 4 games in one. And so he kind of surprised me with a gift, and it's the scoreboard, the digital scoreboard that goes behind the monitor.
That's a big deal.
those are like really hard to find, right?
Yeah, that's rare.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm like, wow,
You
man,
can't
that's
get
awesome.
that on Marcos or whatever,
It's
Yeah,
not an
part
owner.
site.
Yeah. I think part of the
Yeah.
problem is that like people who are deconverting Dragon Slayer, like what happened with Alley Masters, there is they're just chucking the scoreboards. It's
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'll never
trash.
need this again, so they just throw it away.
Yep,
Yeah.
gone.
Spare
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah.
And it's only usable for those games too. You can't
Kumo
and
Craig
anything else.
was pissed too when I told him Gak's going to be turning this back into a Dragon Slayer or Space Ace. He's like, "What? No, 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 no!"
Yeah, like he thinks I'm just gonna throw out the kit, or tear off all the
this
artwork.
is rare. This bowling game by Cinematronics.
Yeah.
You should keep this. Are you
The
kidding
control
me?
panel's gonna stay exactly as it is. The whole harness, the marquee, it's all staying as. I'm not stripping any of those parts apart.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing away any of that original
Get it to
stuff.
Kumo. He can convert his Dragon Slayer into one.
Yeah, there you
There
go.
you go, yeah.
I'll swap them kits, right?
I'll turn this baby Batman into a Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, and so kind of related to that, both you Mock and Keith were saying like, you should probably get, is it Merlin? Is that what it's called?
No, Dexter
Dexter. So Dexter, you're like,
by
you should
Matt.
probably look at getting a Dexter because those
Merlin.
are pretty hard to find and limited production and all that. And
Yep.
then was that Friday night?
That
I think
was
it's-
that was still buzzing, and I was calling him a different name, but I got you hooked up, but I was
think
calling
it
him a different
It was Friday night. I think it was Friday
Matt.
night.
But I
I'm
was
like,
calling him something else. I forget.
And
so I was
Enrique.
over there working on. I think it might have been Porky. Like we're
Yeah, you're
still
working
trying to
on
get controls
games.
working, and you come walking up and you're like, yeah, you got to come over here right now. Yeah, we got it all set up. Just be prepared. And I'm like, all right, So the guy who created the Dexter system, Matt, right? Did he say his name?
Yep, Matt.
He only had like 2 left or something like that.
Yep, that's why I was
And
like, you got to get
he's
on
like,
this
I don't
now.
know when I'm going to be running more of these, to be honest. And I'm like, all right, guess I better buy one. Well, thanks for spending all my money, Mock.
Sorry.
Yeah. Mind you, Jack already sold his machines.
Yeah, so I
early,
sure hope you
think.
sell some.
Yeah. Well, I hadn't received the cash, but yes.
Oh, well, you would.
Yes. Actually, the 3 machines I had for sale, I sold all 3 of them Friday night before the show even opened to the same person. And
But think about how
he
awesome
paid
it
me
is.
Saturday, but yeah. What?
You got the scoreboard, you've got the Dexter,
I know.
and all you need is
I'm on the list for the Repro harness.
You son of a
Golden
bitch.
Age Arcade up in Canada.
Son of a
name.
bitch.
You need the ROM board, the main.
Yes, and
That's
I think he said he can help me out there too.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Must be
over
rough
there.
having all these connections.
Yeah, right.
Not working.
Celebrity life.
It's
Yeah,
good
right.
to know people in the arcade hangout. We're not all dicks.
So yeah,
So, yeah, I
I mean,
thought that was cool.
yeah, and it was great that the 3 machines I wanted to move out happened. I had a price set on. There was a little negotiating back and forth, but I think we both went away happy. With the prices we got. So, yeah, I love doing that, man. It's nice to go to the show and you come back home with a little bit lighter load of games, a little bit heavier load of cash in your pocket. So.
What
Not a
games
bad
did you
deal.
sell, Gak? What games did you
So
sell?
I had actually 2 Roadrunners. Andrew's favorite game. So yes, beep beep. So I sold one of those, and then I had a Ladybug that was in a weird converted cabinet. It was a bootleg, and then I had it was Arkanoid with Wrench of Dough in a Pango cabinet. So those are the 3 I sold. Yeah.
I didn't think Arkanoid looked bad in a Pango cabinet.
No, the
honestly.
colors kind of go well together. Yeah, and I do plan on having one set up eventually. I kind of want to get the probably build my own cabinet like those, like what Andrew has, the Centipede Cabaret, like that style cabinet.
Ah,
Like so it's a vertical 19-inch monitor, but kind of a more compact cabinet.
sure.
I think that'd be cool to set up, and that just kind of like a dedicated, all spinner games in one cabinet.
Mhm.
All breakouts and whatever would be in there. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see here. So some of the games that really stuck out to me was that we played a little bit of the Armadillo racing. Armadillo.
I love that.
Yeah. So the
Andrew would
Armadillo
like that
game.
game.
They have these 2 giant trackballs. It's a Namco game. I'd have to guess maybe from early 2000s. I'm not sure when.
Oh, it was so fun.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Sonic game, but done in 3D. So imagine the Sonic racing game, but done in a 3D format, like following behind your. Was it a armadillo, right?
Yeah. So it's a
track
giant
balls are
track
really
ball, and you're just
sensitive.
spinning it forward as fast as you can, like racing head to head against another armadillo. And then, is there a button? I can't remember if there is.
No,
to do some
no
function.
button.
So you just gotta, avoid stuff, and then you hit jumps, and there's like pigs that are running across that you run into, or you gotta avoid.
Or an alligator that comes out and tries to eat you.
Right. Yeah. it's just hilarious. Yeah. Really.
You go off a jump and your little legs pop out and you like fly like a flying squirrel. Woo!
Yeah. Right.
Distance.
Yeah. It's
It's a really cute and fun game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a blast with that one.
And
That's
then
really cool.
after that, we played. So I don't know if it's a real game the guy's developing. It looks pretty legit.
I found out later it's a work in progress.
Yeah. So there's this game that it essentially picture a Warlord's Cocktail, but for 6 players, and it's kind of an upright, it's a table, but everyone stands around it, and so it's like a 6-sided table.
Hexagon. Yeah.
And so there's a
so instead of a corner, you have a pyramid that you protect.
It's like a cone.
Yes.
Yeah, like a pyramid cone.
But you're defending the area you're defending. Instead of defending two legs of your walls, it's more like you said, like a trapezoid pyramid kind of shape.
Yep.
But yeah, that the gameplay obviously would be really fun. The things they need to work on, I think we all kind of agreed on that, was the brightness of the LED. So there's like an LED strip that's like flashing back and forth in your face.
Every time you get hit, every time your wall gets hit, it flashes in your eyes.
Yeah.
Ba ba ba. So you're like, and it's disorienting. It's so bright.
Like Jimbo was saying that the tracking of the character
ghosting.
Yeah.
The ball ghosts. So
it's hard to tell where you are on that.
It's hard to see. And then the track balls they're too. Keith called that they need to be more weighted or more heavy because they're too loose, like too light.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of lag. Me and Carrie found the same thing with that Pong. There's a little delay between when you spin it and then when it reacts, enough to be annoying. It does. You do get used to it, but they could improve that.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, I'm like, I wonder what the game would be like if they had like a 32-inch CRT in there.
Yeah.
It was cool though. I mean, someone to do that was really amazing, and it was programmed awesome. So they had the swirling vortex in the center, and different balls would start to shoot out of it. So it wasn't a dragon; it was
instead of Warlords. It was called Star Lords.
Star Lords, and it still had the Warlords king graphics inside your pyramid thing. So they
liked.
Really staying true to the arcade, in a way.
Yeah,
I like the music. It got like the little.
It's not like Gravatar or not Gravatar.
And because of the way that your paddle was, so your paddle wasn't just like a straight line. It was like an upside down staple. And if you hit the ball wrong, you could trap it and damage your own thing because it just go bounce against your paddle.
Because it traps inside your staple.
The ball hits behind it, hitting against your own wall. Yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
You eliminate yourself really fast.
You can also, and just like Warlords, you can hold on to the ball, but you don't suffer any penalties for doing that.
Necros, I would say it was a
prototype. They need to change that. They need
I think it's a work in progress. Is what I read on the
board.
Oh, okay.
Because you can hold on to that as long as you want, and your castle is fine.
I thought it was neat. It just needed a little tweaks.
Right.
I mean, tweaks.
It's a prototype.
Yeah, it was cool though.
And I'm trying to figure out. They must. If I had to guess, it's probably like a 42-inch screen, LCD, probably widescreen, but they had a giant bezel that went around the top of it, so it had that kind of hexagon or.
And it had beer holders in it.
It did.
There we go.
Yeah.
It was totally made for a bar.
Mike was trying to get the other people to be like, all right, let's put $1 down.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to get all the
they're like looking at him like a deer in headlight, huh?
So
and it's not too. It's not a one death you're over. It's you get 2 games out of it. So remember it had a number in it, so it said 1 and then 2. So yeah, everybody gets a 2-rounder on that.
So and then as we were just about to kind of head to another spot, and I noticed Owen Rubin walked up, the creator of Major Havoc. So he was all playing it, And I think that's when I said, all right, everybody, let's throw $1 down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Yeah. And then I commented because on the regular Warlords, and it does it on this game too. You can hold the ball, there's a button and it'll hold the ball so you can kind of drift it around.
Well, welcome to what I just said.
Really?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about it bouncing off the backside.
I did, and then I switched to how you can.
Oh, I missed that part.
But you don't get damage.
How you aren't
You're
punished for holding the ball.
just being a dick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get punished holding the balls.
I probably turned my head. Oh, I was probably reading what.
Yeah. One of your kids came in the room. That's the excuse you used for me. Yeah, I was talking.
This
to
time
Sal.
it was Necros asking if it was a prototype or
Sarah said check arcadeheroes.com blog for more information about the Warlords game or Star Lords game.
Yeah. And then
Right.
so
Arcade Heroes. I'll check that out.
for me to segue to Owen Rubin now, I actually missed the thing they did, the special presentation in the side room on Saturday. But Owen Rubin, I guess he's been working on it for a year or two now. He's actually working on completing the original Major Havoc game.
And there was he did a speaker thing on it too.
Yes, that's what I'm
Great.
talking about. Yeah, the speaker.
Yeah.
Because I think the original one, the original release went to like level 16 or something like that, and then it just repeats.
And someone sued over it too and won.
Yep. And so I think his intention is to have it go to level 20, and that's effectively the end of the game. But you can start over again if you want. But it gets, I guess, progressively harder. So I actually missed the presentation thing they did, the speaker thing, but I did get to catch. I think that might have been Sunday. I want to say there's a guy who's like super good at Major Havoc, and he got all the way up to the end. Like, so I videoed him playing like the last 4 levels.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
No.
I was
I
wondering
posted it
about
on Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, that I basically got those last levels, but it only goes to level 19 right now, I guess. And at the end of level 19, it starts to go down to what's supposed to be level 20, and it crashes. But it's I think the level 19, it's kind of like Mark, you even referred to it like that, the Star Castle level.
Yeah, it's well, I watched the presentation. He talked about it, and he actually put out sort of a contest. And there's a Major Havoc builder, maze builder, to build the last final levels, and they're going to take in all the best 8 levels of it for the ending. And where it's at now is, like you said, Star Castle. You still, the parts. I don't know how far you guys seen in Major Havoc, but there's a part where there's like these red walls that fly at you, and you got to dodge them real fast.
They follow your movement too.
Yeah, they follow your movement. You got to kind of fake them out and get out of the way. Well, as you there's the bases up ahead. It looks like a Borg cube, but the sides of the Borg, each side is a maze.
There's a maze,
so you're seeing the maze on there.
So it's like a 6-sided maze kind of thing.
Yeah, and you're seeing a force field wall, kind of like in the MCP and Tron, going around it. And you shoot that, and as they get destroyed, those red walls they turn into the red walls, and they come at you. After you destroy all the walls, then you land on it. And then it goes to the side view where you have the little clone spaceman run out,
platformer,
and he goes up to an elevator, and it's in a building, and the building says CAX on it.
Yeah.
And he pushes a button on the elevator, and he does his usual wait animation. He's waiting, and the doors open up, and then he goes inside the elevator, and the doors close, and then the elevator goes down, and then there's this text appears on the screen says, something to the line of missing level, insert new levels here, whatever.
Right.
That's where the game ends, basically, until they get the levels in. So it's going to be neat. They said they're going to have the whole thing complete before CAX next year. So
and is
it's looking pretty awesome though.
Like a ROM swap for existing?
No, it's going to be a little extension thing you add to your
And from my understanding, he's gonna release it for free for everyone to get.
And it's going to release on MAME as well. So I'll have it on the cabinet.
Be able to get it on MAME, be able to get it.
Everything, because they're not going to make money on it. It's just for fun.
Yeah. Now that little boy that complained will be happy.
Yeah, and it's something he's always wanted to do. it's like, oh, I've always wanted to make an ending to this game, and now I'm doing it. You know, that's what we talked about.
Didn't that kid like sue or something like that? He's like,
yeah,
"All right,
and
I got the
welcome to the conversation, Jim. I already talked about that.
I wasn't here.
It's night of repeats.
But yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he won. He won.
It doesn't count if I wasn't here. Yeah.
But yeah, he won that case. But yeah, so I think it'd be really cool to finally have an ending to Major Havoc. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
how cool is that going to be?
And it's been
I think
35 years
that's
ago
gonna
the
suck.
original one came out. You know.
Yeah.
The creator Owen Rubin, is that his name?
Yes.
So he said he really tried hard to get the rights back, but the problem is there was too many people at Atari that had their hand in it, and they'd all want a piece too.
Yes.
Even though he was like the main creator,
Yeah.
but
Right.
there's just too. It's just it's a corporation, so he goes,
Yeah.
it's just too complicated. There's too many legal hoops to jump through. So instead, we're just going to release it free for everybody, and it's just one of those things that I wanna
Yeah,
do for
that's
everybody. So, hey, so that was a really cool speaker to watch, actually.
Did they show gameplay too in the?
Yeah, they showed still shots. Everything
Okay.
that you saw already that I talked about, they showed in still shots.
So they had it on the floor on Cool Play's dedicated Major Havoc, and so I just happened to be walking by at the right time where he had just finished around level 14, 15. And I'm like, holy shit, I don't even remember seeing up that high of a level. I mean, you're moving so fast and so many things going on.
Oh,
you
it's
know,
so hard.
where you get the oxygen thing, you go down in that maze, get the oxygen things, and these kind of transformer things that put you at a different location. Just all this crazy stuff going on. And then when he got up to the beginning of level 19, you know, when you start at a maze, your ship has to come down and land on a pad. You know,
Yeah,
there's like a narrow
so
pad.
fast.
It's going so fast. I'm like,
it's
he's
really
just like
fast.
ripping the wheel back and forth and getting it to land. And then when he got to the end, and then you can continue. Like you can start at the last level again at the point that he stepped back, and he looks at me. He's all like, "Go ahead, try it out." I'm like, "All right." So I could not land that freaking ship. I think I got lucky like the second or third time. And then I did notice, like you said, it's kind of like Star Castle. Star Castle is like a bird's eye view where it has the walls around the perimeter. But this one's like kind of off at an angle where the walls are rotating around.
Like
you have
Tron.
to shoot all those
Yeah,
walls
like
up.
MCP walls. Exactly
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
And I did hear you say that earlier. But like you said, when you shoot them off, it turns into that red kind of wall flying at you, but it goes the same direction you're going, and it's going fast as hell. So it's like you just gotta rip it, and then as soon as it's about to get to you, you rip it the other direction to get out of the way.
That's hard.
But yeah, just crazy. So yeah,
They
that'll be fun.
they had like 3 or 4 Major Havocs right next to each other, and
Yeah.
some had the Tempest control, some had the trackball control, some had the spinner control. So it's like whatever control you like, there you go.
Yeah, I think the only trackball one was the guy who has that on FPGA on the cabaret in the other room. But the row, there was probably 4 or 5 of them. Like one was in a not Gravatar cabinet, the other one.
Like a cabaret or something.
No, well that was the other one, yeah. But this one was shoot, what's the asteroid duel? What's it
Space
called?
Duel.
Oh, Space Duel.
In a Space Duel cabinet, there was like 1 or 2 like that, and then 1 or 2 dedicated, and then they actually had the prototype, which was called Alpha 1.
Yeah.
You guys are.
Yeah.
Alpha 1 was that actually? It was somebody else's name on it, but it actually had a blue spinner or roller.
Mhm.
Where I thought there was only like 1 or 2 of the rollers.
In the track mode, it even said Alpha 1.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because
So
it was Owens that had the blue trackball in it, right?
Yeah, or the roller, the blue
Yeah.
roller.
So that was the
Yeah.
original name, I guess. It actually went through like 3 name changes.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
It
definitely
was cool.
a highlight to see that.
It was neat.
Um,
How about the did you play the it was like Cosmonauts or Cosmo?
I didn't get a chance. I
I don't
played
know
that
what
a couple
the
years
fuck it
ago.
was.
Yeah.
Okay, so I never played it, but I've seen it. But I got to play it a few times this year. And if you guys ever played Space Duel, that's what it's like. But it's Space Duel, but with Gravatar levels. So like, so,
Yeah.
you know, like Gravatar has like those landscapes with gravity, But imagine that. But there's 4 people that play at once, and it's total versus in a Gravatar environment.
Oh yeah, that's the one that they had at. I think Zyla had one of those for a little while.
Really, it was fun.
Oh.
I had a good time with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cosmotrons. It's a brand new game. Yeah, so I had to look. I actually have a sticker on my rollaway here.
Yeah, we had a late night session on that one last year. I remember a bunch of people had been drinking.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. They had different game modes too. They had one where there's where one person is the boss, like a game boss,
really cool.
And then everybody's fighting him.
Yeah.
They had another one where there's these 2 flags that are moving back and forth, and you got to keep your ship near the flag, and then your little flag will come up for your team. I guess you have whatever person next to you is your teammate. And if an enemy flies in and gets in that zone and you're not there, then his flag goes up. Whoever can get the flags up first wins. You know.
Mark, did you see that other game that was so when you first walk in the main entrance, to your left was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a big huge one. But on the other end of that row, facing the other direction, it looked like it was it was all painted black, but it looked like it used to be a Simpsons or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It had a big LCD on it, and it was a 4-player game. And I want to say it was sort of Galaga-ish, but a 4-player. It was some custom-made one. I don't know if I got a picture of it.
I don't think I saw that.
But
no, are you talking about that Gravatar-like game that we all played last year?
That was the Cosmotrons. That's what I was saying. Last year we had some late night drinking playing that one. Mark was just talking about that one.
I don't.
Yeah, again, welcome to the conversation.
Oh fuck, you guys are boring me. I tuned it off.
Did any of you guys happen to play Change Lanes?
the armadillo game?
You showed us that though.
Yeah, I watched you play.
It had issues on Sunday.
Yeah,
it conked out.
Yeah, but that one's like I need to look that up because it looks like a really old machine, and then for that time it seemed like it was kind of advanced. There would have been a pretty
scaling and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think of what other games might have stuck out.
Gary, did you see anything that you thought was really cool?
We have our 4-minute warning, by the way. So we're gonna have to
wrap
this shit up. For me, it was I got a chance to play that FPGA the Cinematronics multi-vector game, and that was cool to get a chance to try that out. That was probably my takeaway of, oh hey, this was pretty cool. It was fun to kind of flip through. The game didn't work with all the control panel didn't work with all the games. Just because of the control panel that it was in, but that was pretty cool to get a chance to play that. And I love War of the Worlds, so I'm a sucker for that, even though it's really.
I saw you and Jim playing that.
Yeah.
We were in the black and white section for a while, actually, on Sunday.
Yeah.
It wasn't working, but someone had a Space Sap cocktail. It was like a stand-up cocktail game, kind of like track and field cocktail almost,
Yeah, do you notice that second room? That second room, they put all the tables, all the
cocktails are there. Yeah,
so they weren't out where just the general public can play them and all that crap.
Yeah,
that happened in 2016. So I really like that they had the second room spread out the whole convention because and the wider space they had between the games.
I have to show these real quick.
That really helped.
Yeah.
So
the crowds.
So Jimbo, we didn't get a chance to share this, but I'll save it for drinkers. But this was from DJ Blast.
I like that.
He sent that through a mutual friend, Steve Grunberger, I think is his name, and then this one too. So Westy Kong.
Oh, cool.
So and I have a second one of these. He wants me to save for Leo. So. But I'll save these for drinkers. We'll share my drinkers in a few months.
Sweet.
But so Steve Grunberger, he's another Australian guy. I don't know if you guys heard. He got married on Saturday at CAX.
Oh yeah.
So maybe I'll save the details on that one for next week. But it was pretty crazy that he tried to actually have a wedding by the pool at CAX. With
security kicked him out though.
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Oh.
Yeah, because
apparently the pool area is supposed to be private, so you're not supposed to be taking pictures or video because there might be
the
children in the
kids in their
background.
bathing suits and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
so-
for pedophiles,
So they wanted that where that second hall is, where the second room is, down that hall, it kind of dead ends.
Oh yeah.
They just did it over there.
Oh,
So they
perfect.
just did their wedding over there. Yeah, so that was kind of funny, very casual. So, but that was a first for CAX.
Yeah.
Totally nerd out wedding. so. All right, so I guess anything else? Maybe we want to talk about CAX stuff.
Yeah.
I know Andrew needs to kill it, so
I know Andrew needs to kill the game. The show.
Jimbo, you want to say a few things real quick?
I played a game called Barrier. That was a lot of fun. It was a black and white game.
Oh, the vector game.
Street Fighter was fun, and I guess that's all the time I have.
No.
Talk about Street Fighter a little bit.
I have to go now, but like I don't have to go like this second. So please, I don't want to like. We just need to wrap it up.
So Jimbo, you did the Street Fighter thing though. Do you know how many people about were in that?
Yeah, it was capped at 32 players. There were more people I wanted to join. They always cap it at 32.
Talk about how many people you beat.
I was actually I looked at the bracket today because it's online. The bracket, the results, because it's on challenge.com. There were I won my first match. There's a huge, first off, there's a big spectrum of skill level. I would say like really competitive, like good players, they're probably 8 or 9. And then it kind of tapered from there on out. And then, so I played first match. I won my first one. And then I played the guy that ended up winning the thing, my second match. And it was really close, but I just couldn't clutch it out. He played a really good Sagat. And then, I went into
Sagat 2 years ago when I was watching you too.
Yeah. But the guy that played 2 years ago, I didn't know who that was at the time, but he's a top player. Like I know who that is now. But yeah, so I just couldn't clutch it out. And then I went into losers bracket. And I told Heck and Webster, I'm like, well, this is good because I get to play more. As long as I keep winning, I get to play a lot more matches and quicker. And so I won my next 6, and then lost right before losers finals. I lost to a really solid Guile player. I wanted to mirror. I was thinking about mirror. I should have mirrored him, but I hate mirror matches. So so I got 4th place.
You were really aggressive on the last that last match with Guile, right?
Yeah, well, that's as a Blanca player, you have to be.
You have to be. Okay.
You have to get in with any character as a fireball. You have to get in their face.
Okay.
That's the name of the game. Get in their face. Anyone else, you can kind of lame it out, but you basically want to be within bite range of any of those characters. Yeah,
it was exciting. I was with Carrie through the entire event, and Carrie and I were like on pins and needles watching Jim, rooting for Jim the whole time. You know,
it was funny because Heck and Webster both went 2-2, and it was funny because after Heck lost, he comes up to me. He's like, "All right, so the guy that I lost to, this Ryu player, he likes to do this," and he's like giving me like this little insider information. And he's like, all right, go avenge me. And I'm like, all right, you know. And meanwhile, they're in the background, and I win my next match, and they're all applauding. I'm like, oh my god, this is the worst.
Cheerleading section.
Yeah, you did.
They're good players. If I had won, I should have won that. I should have gotten into losers finals, but because the funny thing is with that game is that the guy, I was looking at the bracket, and the guy that I lost to, the Guile player, he lost to one of the Ryus that I beat pretty easily. So I mean, like, I should have mirrored him, but he was very solid. I'm glad. I mean, good for him. So it was fun.
So the winner was Eric
S. Yep.
Eric S.
Yeah. Actually, some of our matches are on YouTube.
Do you know? Carrie and I were wondering what the prize was for that.
I don't know what the dividends were, but they basically the entry fee is $5, so they basically dish that all out to the top 3 spots. So I was 1 spot away from money. Usually, in most cases, the way it works is like first place typically gets like 50 to 60% of the pot. Second place gets like 30, and then Third place usually gets their money back and then a little bit, like some maybe a little bit more, but I would guess that third place got like $10-15, and then went from there on out. But yeah, first place gets a big pot. But it's funny because I remembered I think I played with a couple of those guys a couple of years back, but there were some players I was expecting to see that weren't there. But no, there's a good competition. The next day, everyone was crowded around the big blue cabinet, and it was just like winner stays. It was crazy because like they had like 5-6 setups, but everyone was hunkered around that one setup.
Blue.
Yeah.
That
Because like
was the better
they had
game.
some really wonky setups. Some of those cabinets. There was one cabinet that it's like the person didn't know how to properly space the buttons out. It was like the top.
no.
It was like the top 3 buttons was like 1, 2, and then the third button was like way over here, and then there were 3 buttons below it.
Well,
and they were
was that the
offset.
candy cab you were on? That candy cab?
The one with the big projection TV. No, that one was okay.
Okay.
But there was one that wasn't quite. It wasn't. I don't think it was a dynamo cab, but it was. Every setup had its quirks to it. There was not one that I would say was absolutely perfect.
And they I don't know if you saw it, but they shut one of the machines down during the tournament because they said it wasn't performing the way it should. It was the one on the far right.
Oh, that's right.
They shut it off. They said no more people playing on that one.
Well, and the next day, the sit down, it was basically like a super gun connected to like a little projection screen. That one, the one player side, the jab button and the short button. So like the first 2 buttons did not work. So they had problems with that. Yeah. So that's why everyone was playing on the big blue.
That was the better machine, and that's the one you got to.
It was fun though. I had a lot of games with Webster and Heck the next day, but
I used to play them a lot.
Webster's funny though. That guy gets really emotionally involved in the game.
Was he using Chun-Li as his main like usual?
He would switch between Guile and Chun, but like he just gets so pissed when he loads.
Yeah,
shit, shit. Yeah.
It was
fun. It was fun though. And then so yeah, 4th place, and then Barrier. So that's a game I never played before. It's got these keys that are like it's like they're like keyboard keys, like chiclets, and they're up, down, left, right. It's like your arrow keys, but they're in a diamond shape, and it's 3. It looks like 3 lanes of traffic. And you're this like triangle, and there's 3 of these like diamonds that are like spinning around, and they periodically change. They change positions, like up 1 or down 1, or they change lanes. And what you're supposed to do is you get points for moving forward, and if you collide with them, you lose a life. So the score is how many moves forward you can make. And when you get to the top, if you hit up again, you start at the bottom. So it's like it just repeats. So you're trying to just keep going up. And it's so simplistic, but it's so freaking addicting. Like I
didn't know how to play that game.
Is that the one that has like the hands that are kind of like reaching down and the
arms in the figure, And
it's like you only see like maybe, I swear, half the monitor that's in the game because the artwork covers everything, but like that triangle, like you said.
And I feel like it was mid-marquee or something was missing a light because we shined a light on it, and you could see it, like the art looked awesome. And so like if that's not how it was supposed to be, I would have added a light. But it was so freaking addicting. I showed Carrie it, and she was getting into it. She beat my score. Yeah.
Can I talk about a game real quick before Andrew shuts off? No. So they didn't have of course you had the usual "Come On Baby." And they had the one with the sticks where you shove the guy. What is that?
Park.
That Panic Park, yeah. But they had that game where you flip the table and you're pissed off. And then, that game that you see in the Japanese game?
Yeah.
You pound the table when you're angry.
It's like a Japanese game. You don't know what anything's saying.
Right.
You're right.
No. Don't know anything.
All it seemed like I could see watching people play is you just kind of like have to time it where you like slam your fists on the table.
Yeah, it's like
get a
that powers you up,
and then you build up, and you build up your anger, and then that's when you flip the table.
And then you flip for distance, I guess. I don't know. Maybe
and it does damage.
Yeah.
But I was just shocked to see it there. It was kind of cool to see it there. I watched it for a while.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that other-
videos of it.
Picture of the art
Yeah.
barrier on Clav, but it looks like it's a pretty rare game. Says there's only 4 known instances.
Right. Yes. Super rare.
I got it on MAME. Big deal.
Yeah.
I do
That other-
actually.
That other game
I
I was
played it.
mentioning earlier.
The
that,
cabinet's fucking awesome though.
Yeah.
I love those buttons.
That's funny.
That other game I was mentioning earlier that looked like some kind of prototype was called Galactic Battleground.
I didn't see
The
that.
4-player game. It was right by all the Street Fighter stuff. Yeah, it was like on the end cap.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had a huge row
picture I
of
linked.
candy cabs.
Yes.
Mhm.
It
I
was on the
played
end of the candy caps. Yeah.
I
Huge
played a bunch
row.
of Super Turbo on Sunday with
That
the
was
people.
right behind the Street Fighter tournament. There's a big
Yep.
line of them. I'll sit down.
Yeah, I'm not a big. Honestly, I think it's just because I'm used to American style cabinets, like not to be, whatever. But I don't like sitting when I play, and I don't like sitting that low. But the big thing for me with playing, like I was playing Super Turbo, and I don't like. It's not as much sitting down as I don't like being that close to the screen. I hate being this far away from the monitor. I wanna be able to. I do better when I'm a little bit further.
Is that too much radiation so you can still have babies or what?
No, I don't like. That'd be like me being like this. Like it's too close. Yeah. But yes, I'm afraid of being
Get
infertile.
sterile.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to wrap this up because Andrew's got to go.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Big
Oh.
pants.
That's
kinda-
pretty much everything, though. I mean,
Yeah.
do we miss anything?
That was,
I don't know.
we can always cover it next week too.
Yeah, we can
If
cover it next week. I'll
things pop
forget
up.
by then.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's like, and I brought Zybots too. Dave, you had asked me, and I forgot.
Oh yes.
Now I bring so many fucking games, and Zybots is the biggest pain in the ass to move too.
Yes.
But there are always 2 people on that. Every
Oh, wait,
cover shot.
Yes.
I just remembered something, Carrie, and you got something from Kendra and Rich.
Oh,
What did you get?
Oh, let's just not
That's a
talk about
can of
that right
worms
now.
we should save for next week.
Let's not talk about.
But you got it.
We'll
Yeah.
save that can of worms for
Yeah.
to be continued.
Yeah.
That doesn't have a happy ending.
No, you didn't read
I've
Slack,
got
did
the
you?
right music to.
Oh, I missed it. I was busy today.
Yeah. No, you should though. I'll tell you
Oh,
when
no, no.
after we're off
All
here.
right. All right. Well, never mind.
Yeah. Never mind. Yeah.
All right. So
Everybody knows that the days are
What the hell ending music is this?
I know, right?
What,
You ran.
Andrew? Do we need to snap him into shape?
I know,
What is
right?
that?
What the fuck? It's
I don't
Leonard
know what
Cohen.
that is.
I can't. Yeah.
It's Leonard Cohen, and
Everybody knows.
made famous by the Christian
Pump Up
Slater
the
movie,
Volume?
Pump Up the Volume.
Oh my
One
god!
of the
I saw that
best-
movie once when it first came out. I don't
One of the
remember
best
any
movies
of
of
that
all time.
It's a good movie.
It's actually my favorite Christian Slater movie ever.
shit. It is
Although does
not
that
Heather's.
say- maybe that doesn't say a lot.
I think it's better than Heather's.
I do
Really?
too.
And I like Heather's a lot.
I don't remember it
movie's-
was that
it-
great.
it-
I don't
it's
remember it was
inspirational.
on the radio.
It's inspirational, and I never get tired of watching it. That's a movie I can watch at any
And he
given hour.
fake masturbates on it.
He does fake masturbate.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
With
what
the
was
back
the Christian Slater movie?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the champion.
Maybe I have to watch the movie again.
And,
Wait a second.
Eat your cereal with a fork and do your homework in the dark.
Andrew, what was the name of the Christian Slater movie again?
Pump up the
Pump
volume.
up the volume.
Pump up the
Pump up
volume.
the
Pump up the
volume.
volume. Dance,
That's-
dance, dude.
That's a movie I've been like really wishing that they would release on Blu-ray, and they probably never will.
probably.
Finding a DVD was hard enough.
Yeah, I've got a DVD.
Get it on Laserdisc.
Probably.
Play it on
It's
Dragon
good.
Slayer.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta let Andrew go. He's gotta
All right.
go. He's gotta
Yep.
get out of
All
here.
right.
Get the hell out of here. Night all.
Okay. All right. Thanks everybody for
Talk to you
quick
next
hang out
week.
tonight.
Short show, but we'll make it a long one next week.
Yep.
Okay, bye everybody.
We'll make it up to you.
Happy
Where-
Cax.
Now tonight, I fucking need you more than ever. If you only hold